All right, hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how state-aware orchestration works with Orchestra in DBT. I'm going to show you with a couple of examples. So in the first example, I've got some data here, and I'm going to go ahead and add some more data. And now because we've added more data, when we actually run our end-to-end pipeline, we should note that, and then we should run everything. So if I have a look at what we've got here, you can see I have an end-to-end pipeline that's pulling in data from my sheet into Snowflake, and then I'm doing transformations. So let's run this and see what happens. Okay, we're back, and we can see everything is run. So let's reload this and see what happens. All right, so we can see we've processed a load of data. And we can also see that this Google Sheet that we had has actually decided to run, which is good because we had some new data there. You'll also see, however, that some other models have been completely skipped. Now, the cool thing about state-aware orchestration is that if we then run this again, you'll see that everything is actually just going to get skipped, which means the scheduling of this whole pipeline becomes very easy. Instead of having to tag everything, you could just run this every 15 minutes, and you know that DBT is never going to reuse. It's never going to rerun stuff it doesn't need to. So if I just run DBT on its own, let's see what happens. And there's no new data here, so nothing should happen. Okay, everything's run again. And now if we take a look at that oil pipelining data, we'll see that it's actually been reused. And the reason it's been reused is because there's no new data since the last run, which is exactly what we would expect to happen. So just like that, you can make all of your DBT runs much more efficient. Now, there's another model I want to show you guys, and that one is over here. Now, this one should have been refreshed because it depends on a seed. And essentially, there's no way to understand if we should actually reuse stuff, even if the seeds are the same. So we can see this marketing data aggregated thing has still run, even though one of the upstream dependencies has been reused. And over here, you'll see that I have another PR, which we can put in. And that is adding a build after configuration. And what that means is it's basically saying that this model should update on It's basically saying that this model should update when everything it depends on has been updated, so not just one thing. But it's also saying that it should only update once an hour. So if you tell it to update 3 times in an hour, it'll do it the first time, but then not the second and the third times. So let's push this, and then we can see what happens if we run everything again. All right, let's take a look. So lots and lots of things have been skipped. And what about our marketing data aggregated? Well, marketing data aggregated has actually also now been skipped. And we can see what it depends on. So we can see again, GA data clean has been in there. But we've got model is still within freshness config of 60 minutes, and it was last updated 5 minutes ago. The node requires all upstream dependents to have new data in order to be refreshed. And you can see all of the logs here again, so you can see exactly what's going on. And you've also got the last sort of successful histories as well. So these are just 2 examples of how you can use state aware to make things simpler. This is a particularly nice one because the BD-eyed of you will notice that the seed has also been skipped. And that's an example of the SLA of the downstream model propagating its way up to the source models. So here you can see that the config has been inherited from the downstream dependency, which means that this now has also been skipped. So we haven't done a seed. So it's really, really powerful. It makes stuff really fast. It makes stuff really easy, really cheap. And also when it comes to scheduling, you can just run dbt stay aware like every 15 minutes if you wanted to, and you don't have to worry about like dbt sending loads of queries to your warehouse erroneously and just updating stuff that doesn't need to be updated, because that just won't happen. So I put in a few more resources in the comments, but yeah, please like and subscribe and let us know what you think.